Good evening. I am the Gentleman, and this is the premiere episode of The Gentleman's Voice.
The Gentleman's Voice. Critical analysis and reviews for books and movies. Tonight's feature presentation:
Sherlock Holmes. As I say the name, everybody has an image of the great detective, the most iconic detective of any detective. But Guy Ritchie had his own idea for what a Sherlock Holmes movie should be about. And considering that this is the first Sherlock Holmes movie to come to the United States in 20 years, it's worth taking a look at. But does it measure up to the other ones that came before? My answer would be elementary, my dear audience. So let's take a look and dive right into Sherlock Holmes. So we open our movie with dramatic music leading to infiltrating a building. Upon entering it, we get our first good look at our hero, Robert Downey Jr., who, I'm not going to lie, plays a really good Holmes.
Head cocked to the left, partial deafness in ear. First point of attack. 2. Throat, paralyzed vocal cords, stop screaming. 3. Got to be heavy drinker, floating rib to liver. 4. Finally, dragging left leg, fist to patella. Summary prognosis, conscious in 90 seconds, martial efficacy, quarter of an hour at best. Full faculty recovery, unlikely.
Yeah, like that's gonna... Oh my god, Sherlock Holmes is a badass action hero! Wow. Okay, if Guy Ritchie has just made a really awesome character even more awesome. If this is the first of many changes to the Sherlock Holmes series, then this is going to be a really...
Rise!
Yeah!
That there's a jolly good chap.
Who the heck are you?
Well, I am the Tomato Geek.
Tomato Geek?
Yes, Tomato Geek. Why are you... No, stop. Stop laughing.
Okay, Mr. Tomato Geek. So, what do you want, Tomato Geek?
I'm an avid follower of the Rotten Tomatoes. I read all their critiques, and I take everything they say to heart.
Yeah, well, that's nice and all, but, I'm trying to do a review.
Well, I'm here about Sherlock Holmes, of course, you silly ding-dong. You claimed it was good that Guy Ritchie made him into an action hero. A seriously awesome one at that.
Yeah, that's right, what about it?
The idea of making Sherlock Holmes into an action hero is not what Arthur Conan Doyle had in mind. The Rotten Tomatoes agree with me.
Okay, listen. I appreciate what you're trying to do. I really do. But this is my review, which is my opinion.
No, now listen. According to Tony Medley, Danny played the cerebral Holmes as a cleanliness-impaired action hero, and Jude Law as Dr. Watson made one yearn fondly for Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce.
That's nice and all, but...
Furthermore, J.R. Jones of the Chicago Reader says the very idea of handing him over to professional lad Guy Ritchie to be played as a punch-throwing quipster by Robert Downey Jr. is so profoundly stupid, one can only step back in dismay.
You done?
Doris to Mark Keane of the Film Journal, I suppose. Usually more laid-back chaps. Sherlock Holmes and sidekick Watson are now action heroes in a tale stripped of modulations, intelligence, and finesse. As you see, the idea of having Sherlock Holmes be an epic action hero is not what the author intended with the original stories.
So you believe that Sherlock Holmes is not meant to be an action hero?
Well, it's on Rotten Tomatoes, so...
Okay, well that means yes. So, let me read to you a passage from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Sherlock Holmes. So, Sherlock Holmes, his limits. Knowledge of literature, nil. Knowledge of philosophy, nil. Knowledge of astronomy, nil. Knowledge of politics, feeble. Profound knowledge of chemistry, knowledge of anatomy, accurate but unsystematic. Knowledge of sensational literature, immense. He appears to know every detail of every horror perpetrated in the century, plays the violin well, is an expert single-stick player, boxer, and swordsman. Expert boxer and swordsman.
Well, that may be, but...
Expert boxer and swordsman.
Yes, but...
Expert boxer and swordsman.
Very well. You shall not heed my words. But before I go...
Just get out of my review.
Before I go, let me first promise that you and I shall always be adversaries.
Get out!
That we are destined to clash throughout the generations. And in the end, I will...
Beat it! Sorry about that. Well, now that he's gone, let us proceed. Upon entering the depths of the building, Holmes discovers the arrangement of what looks like some sort of pagan ritual. But before he can act, he is attacked by another goon. But enter Jude Law as Watson to save him. And this is where we are introduced to another aspect of the Sherlock Holmes movie that makes it fun. The bromance.
Once again, Joey, good shot.
Beat it! The bromance shows that these two have known each other for so long and they are the closest of friends. It also shows that they know each other's quirks and weaknesses, and that their conversation and rapport goes beyond the everyday conversation.
I like the hat. Oh, I just picked it up. Do you remember your revolver? Oh, you have forgot something? Thought I'd left the stove on. You did. I don't think that's... I don't know that that's... Not a dinner. Perhaps some other time.
I insist.
You insist. You remember we discussed this. The lady insists.
This is one of the few times where Watson is not reduced to an actual sidekick in these movies. Which, while a departure from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's book, is not at all bad. It makes him a more three-dimensional character, and character is one of the most important parts to making a story. But I digress. Let us continue with the plot. Rushing in, Holmes and Watson defeat the guards and arrest Lord Blackwood, played here by a sort of one-noted Mark Strong. The villain is captured, and Holmes is a hero. So, I guess the movie's over? How far along are we? That's it? Good God, this was just a setup. The prologue before the actual action. Is the rest of the movie like this? Hey, let's go! Let's go! A little time passes, and we see Holmes and Watson are between cases. Now, according to Doyle, Sherlock Holmes, between cases, and bored, is a menace to himself. He shoots himself up with cocaine, and he experiments with various things to pass the time, many of them deadly.
Watson, I am in the process of inventing a device that suppresses the sound of a gunshot. It's not working.
He's killed a dog. Again.
He's also a danger to everyone else. But regardless, this is a very accurate portrayal of Sherlock Holmes. This is how I have always envisioned him to be when he's between cases. Bored out of his mind, and hating every minute of it.
I can't not agree. My mind rebels at stagnation. Give me problems, give me work.
But not all is well between the dynamic duo, as it appears Watson is about to leave his role as Holmes' associate and marry a woman named Mary.
Ah, I see you're the attending physician at Blackwood's hanging.
Yes. It was our last case together, and I wanted to see it through to the end.
Holmes, of course, takes the reminder very well and shows his support by agreeing to go to dinner with Watson.
So you're free this evening?
Absolutely.
Dinner?
Wonderful.
The Royale?
My favorite.
Mary's coming.
Not available.
You're meeting her, Holmes?
Wow, what a great friend. Be sure to keep a little bit of support for yourself. You're more than likely to fall down in your condition. But at least he's not going to be so mean-spirited as to try and break up this wonderful relationship that... Okay, but it's just a one-time thing. It's not like he's going to try multiple times to...
Reckon your future, sir.
What of Mary?
Oh, she turns to fat and, oh, she has a beard and...
What of the warts?
Oh, she's covered in warts.
Enough. Are they extensive, please? Enough. Holmes, does your depravity know no bounds? No.
God dang it, Sherlock! To passively oppose is one thing. To go out of your way to... That's a line you don't cross. Not as a friend, not as anything!
You're not making any sense. You're not human.
Thank you, Watson! But before he can cause more trouble, Holmes is summoned to meet with Lord Blackwood as his last request.
Holmes, you must widen your gaze. I'm concerned you underestimate the gravity of coming events.
And I'm sure that I won't regret telling you this in the near future. I'm sure of that.
But beneath your mask of logic, I sense a fragility. That worries me. Steel your mind, Holmes. I need you. 3 more will die, and there is nothing you can do to save them.
Wow. He just gave away his master plan. Did he flunk Villainy 101? Alright class, welcome to your first session of Villainy 101. Now I know that we have a 98% fail rate, but I am confident that this year we'll be able to turn it around. So first question, what is the first rule of being a villain? Yes, Bane.
Is it to tell your master plan to everyone so that they know how to stop you?
No, you idiot, that's wrong, that's entirely wrong. That gives the hero an unfair advantage, you see. Lord Blackwood, you go ahead now.
I was going to say the same thing too.
God dang it! No, you see, this is why so many people fail this class. Squid! I quit!
But what is the answer?
Well, now that he's failed to do the simple thing of keeping his mouth shut, I'm guessing that Blackwood's gonna break out of jail and wreak havoc across London by getting himself hanged. You know, just a little secret. It's kind of hard to kill people when you yourself are already dead. Not that I have any personal experience with this, but it's just what I hear all the time. We are then introduced to Irene Adler, who is Sherlock's on-again, off-again girlfriend. Oh, and did I mention she's also a criminal? Although, to be quite honest, I never pictured Rachel McAdams as the ingenious Irene Adler. Her portrayal seems a little bit off-character. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I thought she'd be played as a stronger character. Someone befitting the moniker of the only person who ever outsmarted him. But I digress again.
I need your help.
It turns out that Irene needs Sherlock to track down a ginger dwarf.
Midget.
What?
It's more than technicality, you see. You're misrepresenting the dimensions of foreshortened peoples.
Sorry, midget. But before that can happen, the police come bursting in with some disturbing news.
Sir, Inspector Lestrade asks that you come with me at once.
What's he done now? Lost his way to Scotland Yard?
It's Lord Blackwood, sir. He, well, it appears he's come back from the grave, sir.
Well, of course he did. What sort of villain would just give away his whole master plan and then let a little thing like death get in the way of completing it? That would be totally preposterous. I mean, come on. Seriously, what villain would do that? So, Sherlock, there must be some explanation. Why don't you go ahead and give it?
Most engaging.
Okay, go ahead and muse on that for a little while. Watson, give us a medical explanation.
He had no pulse.
See? There you go. He can't possibly have risen from the grave. He had no pulse. Unless he's a vampire? Nah, it can't be. doesn't sparkle. So the dynamic duo goes along to investigate. Sherlock because he's summoned, and Watson kind of just tagging along because his ability to tell if someone is dead or not is thrown into question. Upon opening the coffin, they quickly realize that it contains not Blackwood! Nope, it's just a ginger dwarf.
Midget?
Fine, midget!
Well, now we have a firm grasp of the obvious.
Sherlock and Watson go wandering off to find clues and debate the possibilities of what is happening. Now, heads up, this is the point where things get a little weird.
You have to admit, Holmes, that a supernatural explanation to this case is theoretically possible. Agreed.
But wait. There have always been supposed magic situations in Sherlock Holmes before, but they have always been disproven by Sherlock Holmes' deductive reasoning. So why is Watson, the plain-spoken medical man, so quick and eager to believe that there is a non-scientific explanation to the situation? I mean, so far the audience has been led to believe that there is magic. Hey, come on. Let's look at the first scene again. How do you explain that then? Did she just decide, oh, screw it, life is for ding-dongs, I shall make my quietus with a bare bodkin, ha! Or, maybe she and Blackwood had a talk before. Listen, I need you to help me with something for a second. I'm not helping you, you kidnapped me! All I need you to do is stab yourself in the chest with this knife. Wait, what? Don't worry, there are 2 men who'll come running in to rescue you before you manage to kill yourself, and they'll stop you. But, why don't you just hold the knife and then stab me? Do not question my logic! Okay. Or, there's a third option! A giant clown was sitting in the rafters, holding strings tied to her arms and legs, and made her do it. Hey, it makes as much sense as the other options, okay? We get some more of Holmes trying to sabotage Watson's wedding. Seen it, moving on. Watson is about to go have tea with the in-laws, but the thrill of the case is too much for him. He rejoins Holmes and they discover the ginger midget was a chemist working for Blackwood. But some more of Blackwood's goons show up and they have themselves an epic fight.
Watson, what have you done?
Ooh. That was quite a rush. That was an intense and epic fight scene. What did you think of it?
Well, if you take a look at...
It was intense and epic. Moving on. Sherlock then meets with the heads of the Black Art Order, where we learn that they are as concerned about the Blackwood situation as he is.
We don't expect you to share our faith, merely our fears.
In this instance, fear of your own child.
Actually, it wasn't that much of a surprising twist at all. No, not at all. It was a... I mean, someone had to be his father. Someone had to be. It's not like he was a demon who popped out of hell to terrorize all of humanity and okay, it was a little bit of a surprising twist. But Holmes decides he doesn't want to find Blackwood for them and leaves.
I do have a parting query, Sir Thomas.
What is that?
If the rest of his family's dead, how long do you expect to survive?
Well, considering that there are 3 people in that room and Blackwood said that 3 people would die, I'm gonna guess not long. Wait a minute. That's only 2. What about the Home Secretary guy?
I nominate Lord Blackwood as head of the order.
Daddy? Foreign guy? Did Blackwood just miscount? I mean, okay, wait, let's play back what he said earlier.
3 more will die, and there is nothing you can do to save them.
Okay, so not only did he fail to pass Villainy 101, he also didn't pass basic math because there's only been so many deaths in a film and... Wait. The Ginger Midget! There we go! That means he might have miscounted anyway, because if he killed the Ginger Midget, and then he killed Daddy, and then he killed the foreign guy, and he killed the Home Secretary guy, that would have been 4 deaths, not 3. And if he hadn't killed the Ginger Midget, he would have only killed 2 people, so... kind of bad planning. But I digress. Holmes and Watson continue to follow clues that reunite them with Holmes' lady friend in a daring rescue, but Watson gets injured, and while he recovers, Holmes contemplates what the mystery is. And this is another classic case of Doyle, where the hero sits in a chair by himself, smokes a pipe, plays his violin, and tries to consider every aspect of the entire case. And once he comes to the revelation, it's off to save Parliament from an untimely death from a chemical weapon the Ginger Midget made for Blackwood. But in the middle of the fight scene, Irene steals a piece of the machine for a mysterious boss, who has been seen briefly here and there throughout the movie, before she is attacked by Lord Blackwood! Holmes and Blackwood duke it out, and Holmes talks over Blackwood about how everything worked out, and Blackwood is hung properly, and Sherlock goes out to have a quiet moment with his girlfriend, where she tells all.
Moriarty.
What?
That's his name. Please don't underestimate him. He's just as brilliant as you are, and infinitely more devious.
So Holmes gives Irene the key to her handcuffs and leaves her so she can start a new life as a good person. Wait. Honestly, okay, hold on. Honestly, how likely is that to have actually happened? Let's rewind and do the conversation the way it really would have gone. Don't ever do that again. Now give me a kiss and swear. There's the Irene I knew. And that was Sherlock Holmes. My take on it? Well, the characters are fun, the acting is good, decent in some cases. The story's a bit weak for a Holmes case, not nearly as intricate or as challenging as it could be for one of so brilliant a mind. But the action and the characters and the bromance make up for that.
Elbin, you can't stop lying!
Shut it! It was a fun movie, and I enjoyed it! Actually, there is one thing that's still unresolved in my mind. Why the heck did the woman in the beginning try to kill herself? My guess is, we should all be on the lookout for giant clowns carrying strings. And that's the gentleman's voice. I am the gentleman, and I leave you with one last quote to consider.
But it's a huge mistake to theorize before one has data. Inevitably, one begins to twist facts to shoot theories instead of theories to shoot facts.
Thanks for watching. Cheerio, and farewell.